Every business is different, but B1 Bank knows that every business owner has similar needs. From streamlining accounts receivables to maintaining access to working capital, a trusted bank is your best asset for staying on top of day-to-day finances and planning for future business growth. At B1 Bank, I know I have access to commercial banking experts who care about the needs of my business and can guide me to accomplish my goals. B1 Bank knows that managing your business isn't simple, but they can help you make it uncomplicated.
Mealtimes are having a moment. A flavorful moment. A moment that's full of golden fried happiness and totally crave-worthy. One that has citrus grilled deliciousness, puts a twist on the classics, and packed with so much flavor that there's something for everyone. A moment you can only discover with the one-of-a-kind chicken and sides of Pollo Campero, crafted to taste like home.
With 6 miles, runway 26 straight, clear to land.
Since 1986, Soccer Spectrum has been serving the Dallas community with competitive soccer, great food, laughs, and a home away from home. Here at Soccer Spectrum, we offer the full soccer experience. We host and organize adult indoor and outdoor soccer leagues, youth leagues, watch parties, soccer camps, and birthday parties. Our facility has everything you need to enjoy our beautiful game and create friendships that will last a lifetime. What are you waiting for? Join our community today. Soccer Spectrum, the official practice facility of the Dallas Sidekicks.
The Major Arena Soccer League is proud to welcome you to MASL Soccer on MASL TV and to the Credit Union of Texas Event Center. Tonight, the St. Louis Ambush arrive in Allen, Texas with one goal in mind: postseason. But standing in their way is the Dallas Sidekicks, who want nothing more than to spoil this playoff push. Hello, everybody. My name is Christian Filliman, better known as Philly, and I'll be taking you on this Tuesday night tussle in the MASL. The Ambush are in the playoff hunt, and including tonight, they've got 3 games where if they can continue their winning ways, St. Louis will be heading to Oceanside, California. Ambush are riding a 3-game winning streak, and if they can extend it, not only will their chances of dancing in the postseason get closer, but they will also have accomplished a milestone. Never before in franchise history have the Ambush won 4 in a row. 3, yes, on many occasions, but in the 12 years, never 4. Axel Chakunte is set to kick things off here for St. Louis. On the other side of the turf, Dallas, officially eliminated from the playoffs, but they too have something to play for: pride. Hometown pride. No competitor is going to allow any opposition to push them around, especially in their own house. It's been a challenging season for the legendary Sidekicks, but the hope is with 2 more games, they can ride a winning wave of momentum into the offseason and into the next. And we are underway under the bright lights of the Credit Union of Texas Event Center in Allen, Texas. St. Louis has been hot as of late, winners of their last 3. And a big playoff push. They've got several games in hand, trailing the Tacoma Stars and the Empire Strikers, or as they were known over the weekend, the Empire Fury. It'll be an interesting ride here into the postseason. Ball gets played into the corner. Just misses. Taken away by the Sidekicks. On your screen, the Dallas Sidekicks are wearing the black and the purple, the Ambush in the blue. The shot wide open. Oh, just misses off the mark. Valiant opportunity for St. Louis to really kick things off into high gear. They're a team that more often than not wins when they score the first goal of the game. 1-8 when the opposition scores first, and a miss just to the left. Starters in between the sticks for both sides. Paulo Nascimento for St. Louis. For the Dallas Sidekicks, it's Parker Lockland. Lockland in the top 6 in the MASL as far as saves go. The Ambush came into the season with some lofty expectations with the arrival of Frank Tayu, but since the Kings' departure to Milwaukee and the additions of players such as Robert Williamson, Riley Uri, and the outstanding play of Duduka Carvalho, William Eske, and Lucas Almeida, The Ambush have put together a season in which they can potentially land in the playoffs. Winners in 4 of their last 5 games and 7 of their last 10. As that ball gets stripped away by the Sidekicks. They don't have the numbers, but there's an attempt and a nearly identical replication of the previous shot by the Sidekicks. Ambush fans are craving a playoff berth and quite honestly deserve it. And by the way, shout out to the fans in attendance at the watch party at Post Sports Bar and Grill in Lake St. Louis, Missouri. This should be an intense game of indoor soccer, and I'm so humbled to be on this journey with you. Nothing like having Tuesday in the MASL. If it were up to me, obviously, we'd be playing all days of the week. St. Louis, in their last 2 encounters against the Texas Outlaws, against the Dallas Sidekicks, have won. I mentioned the Texas Outlaws because that's who the Ambush beat in their last matchup, 11-5 in Mesquite. This is the first matchup between the two here in Allen, Texas. As the Sidekicks run off into a counter opportunity, Oscar Romero has it right in the midfield. For those of you wondering whether or not I am in attendance in Allen, no, I am from a remote location in beautiful Burbank, California. The wonders of technology. Lachlan bounces it off the wall, and that's going to go into the stands. It's going to be a drop ball restart. A couple minutes into the game, both teams getting a feel for one another. The St. Louis Ambush do have 2 more games after this. For the Dallas Sidekicks, they will host the Empire Strikers next week for both of their final games of the regular season, with playoff implications on the line as well. The man, the myth, the SK, trying to put the ball into play. What a season he's been having. St. Louis Ambush this season very much improved from last year, where they went 4-14-6. Only finishing with 17 points in 6th place. There's an opportunity. Ball is loose. Headed in by the Ambush. In the right place at the right time. Who else but the man with the lovely locks? William SK opens the scoring first for the St. Louis Ambush. And hopefully everybody partying it up at the watch party is enjoying that one. Let's take a look at that replay again. 5-hole. Just misses Lachlan. It bounces off the wall. And in fact, we could designate that as a Wallace-Scora, if you will. Parker Lachlan tried to get his paws on it, but William Eske is there. And as mentioned, the St. Louis Ambush this season, when scoring first, are 8-4. When the opposition scores first, they are 1-8. So far, the Ambush are off to a solid start. Nascimento goes the distance. Chakute with a shot, saved by Lachlan. Lachlan, a very young player in this league, having the benefit of working under a legendary keeper in that of Juan Gamboa. Gamboa did feature in the Sidekicks' previous game against the Outlaws. 1-0 here in the first quarter. First goal of the game registered by William Eske. And let's see if they can answer once again. Nobody in the corner. Ball is loose. Nestor Hernandez getting in the way. And he denies to Duca Carvalho, who would have had a nice, clean look. Ball is played into the corner. A sandwich of St. Louis defenders, but somehow the Sidekicks still keep it. Fancy footwork maneuvering by Romero. Putting his defender on skates. Dylan Hundelt quickly gets back up on his toes, though. Sidekicks looking to move the ball around, trying to spread the defense of the Ambush. Playing it off the wall and to himself was David Balliet. Soccer Davis, he's called, and he's going to draw a foul on the Sidekicks' offensive third of the turf. Balliet, a rookie out of Dallas, Texas. He's had a very solid start to his rookie year out of Buenos Aires, Argentina. Ball gets played up top. Shot deflected. and into the stands. As Oscar Romero out of Fort Worth, Texas, tried to fire one in. On the restart. Ball plays. Oh, another shot missed. Just above the skinny popcorn sign. That's going to go well into the stands. Incredible that we've gone to the nitty-gritty, the final weeks of the Major Arena Soccer League this season. Just 1 week left before postseason gets determined. Still got 3 teams that are very much in the hunt for the 7th and 8th playoff spot. Nothing determined yet. St. Louis Ambush would love to punch in their ticket. And if they win all 3 games, not only will they clinch a spot in the playoffs, they'll leapfrog both the Empire Strikers and the Tacoma Stars. Which, all things considered, with how crazy this season has been, as that ball gets loose, still loose. And Lackland's going to drop on it. And just considering how the season began, everything that transpired with personnel, it's a testament to the grittiness. That ball gets stripped away, taken away, nearly a costly turnover. As Luis Perez nearly made Parker Lackland regret his decision. Down on the turf. Judging by the looks of things, yes, that is Felipe de Souza comes back onto the team. Back in the 2021 season, he had himself an outstanding campaign. Dallas Sidekicks are going to need him to be involved offensively. They're going to look to find themselves in the win column. Their final 2 games are going to be played at home here in Allen. As SK plays it back to Mohamed Ndiaye. Ndiaye, who started his career for the most part as a forward, but has since been moved to a defender and has really made a significant impact anywhere he's gone from that position. The play goes right in to Parker Lackland. So other than the header that we saw by SK, that's the only offense thus far. The Dallas Sidekicks have had their shots, but by no means putting goalkeeper for St. Louis, Paulo Nascimento, in any kind of duress. There you see Paulo trying to play it. Pressure by the Ambush. Nestor Hernandez. Ball gets passed up and through. Great ball movement from Ndiaye into Carvalho. That ball's going to come back to SK. SK undeniable with that hair. One of several members of the MASL when it comes to the all-hair team. And as I tell the youngsters, enjoy it while you got it. Because as you get older, you start to lose the hair in the places you want it and gain it in the places you don't need. Like your ears. Nestor Hernandez, once played for the St. Louis Ambush, plays that ball out of danger. And anytime the Sidekicks have gone on any kind of counter, they've just not had any numbers coming up. It's been a swarm of Ambush defenders getting in the way. Ball comes back to Romero. Romero's going to go back to Nestor. Nestor, I noticed on his social media recently, got to go to Wrexham recently. You know, Nestor, from his time playing in Empire, huge Liverpool fan. Very cool to see his trip to Wales. Balliet, it's good to see him back on the turf. He's down, and no whistle is called as that ball still goes into play. Picked up by Parker Lackland. Over to Bradley Balades. Romero getting significant minutes here in the opening goings. He's in his 5th year in the league, 4th with the kicks. He's the brother of Isai and Yahir, product of the FC Dallas Academy. In fact, quite a few members of the Sidekicks played over there. And speaking of which, Jamie Lovegrove is a coach within that system. Jamie Lovegrove having a fine season in this league when it comes to assists and points. Ball gets stripped away. Shot deflects. The defense of the Sidekicks deny another opportunity for the Ambush. And that's going to send us into immediate timeout, folks. Things are spicing up down in the Lone Star State as the Ambush head into the immediate timeout, up on the Sidekicks by a score of 1-0.
Across the nation, MASL players are giving back, utilizing their professional power to touch and inspire people in their local communities nationwide. Free soccer clinics, where kids can meet their heroes and learn new skills. After-school programs and special events. And surprise visits to the classroom. Visiting brave kids in the hospital, bringing joy and hope. Supporting special needs care, partnering with local businesses, and so much more. MASL, passion on the field, purpose off the field, committed to community.
Mitre is the official game ball supplier of the Major Arena Soccer League. Established in 1817, Mitre is one of the leading soccer brands worldwide and produces some of the best soccer balls in the world. Learn more at mitre.com. Capelli Sport is the official and exclusive preferred uniform and apparel provider of the Major Arena Soccer League. The all-new MASL fan store will be launching soon. 4 shots to start things off here for the Ambush as they currently lead the Sidekicks by a score of 1-0. That first goal courtesy of none other than William Eske. Threaded through it, another goal. Just as I mentioned his name, he buries it in the upper right corner. St. Louis Ambush fans, say hello to my Uncle Franz. Top shelf where he keeps the good schnapps. That's where William Eske buries his second of the game. And that ball was quickly played in right as we get from the timeout. Not to be denied, Parker Lackland in no position of where he can make the save. And Eske, as our colleagues in St. Louis like to call him, Chilly Willy, certainly includes the chill factor in Texas, where the stars at night may be big and bright, but so far it's St. Louis that are really representing deep in the heart of Texas. Dallas looking to create an answer as they go down quickly by 2-0. We know that fans and the entire Tacoma Stars organization, as well as the Empire Strikers, are keeping a key eye on this one because their playoff fates are highly determined potentially by the outcome of this game. Dallas having some trouble getting it out of their half of the turf. Sticking with it and drawing the foul. Impressive. D'Souza, he had the likes of Mo Ndiaye on him, and Mo Ndiaye is not a very small-framed player. In the Romero looking to find some space. He gets the ball stripped by Austin. Looking to create a counter for the Ambush. He's going to go backwards to Paulo Nascimento. And an impressive start for St. Louis. You could tell that they're playing with that postseason in mind. And all things considered, if they do hang on to... What a cheeky backheel pass. While a score opportunity. Ball is loose, picked right back up by Nestor Hernandez. Incredible ball movement by the Ambush, splicing through Dallas's defense. Into the midfield it goes. On it is Albert Rodriguez. Rodriguez out of Oak Cliff, Texas. Wearing the number 69 in his third year. Playing in the league and playing with the Sidekicks. That's going to be a foul going against William Eske as he fouls Brendan Lee. Brendan Lee, who comes back, who comes to the Sidekicks, having recently signed. No players have bounced around back and forth between the Outlaws and the Sidekicks. So those organizations are barely 30 miles away from each other. Nestor Hernandez, Superman as we called him, puts it back into play to Baladez. Baladez into Lee. Back over to Baladez. Hernandez had an impressive goal in the Sidekicks' last outing against the Outlaws, where he megs a player before he too punches it in and pulverizes the net. That ball comes off the Hershey sign. Was an attempt on goal. Nascimento smashes it across the wall. Recovered. Rodriguez has it. Whoa. Megging the defenders is Jeff Mashad. Counter opportunity. William Eske trying to get a hat trick. Quick save by Parker Lackland. Araujo. What a save by Lackland. Denies Araujo of an opportunity to put it up 3-0. And Drury's going to kick that one back to Nascimento. Well, that was a fun sequence. St. Louis, the aggressors here in the first quarter. James Thomas passes it over to NDI. Look at the movement. Wide open was Chikunte in the box. Chikunte has it. Tough touch, gets him out of the danger zone. Still sticking with it, but the Sidekicks poke it away and recover. But nobody there on the run. So we see Riley Uri, who started the season with the Harrisburg Heat. Last year, he was a rookie with the Empire Strikers. It's good to see Riley getting some run. Chikunte, pass up top, shot just misses off the flight logo. James Thomas within a nose hair of putting St. Louis up by 3. And the Sidekicks have to find some answers here. Head coach Terry Woodbury's side is scrambling as they've been ambushed by St. Louis throughout the duration of this game. But as we know in the game of indoor soccer, and as we saw on Sunday, 6-1, any kind of results like that, easily obtainable, easily a hill you could easily climb. Let's just put it that way. Top of the arc restart. The through ball shot saved. Christian Briggs tried to pepper that into Parker Lackland, but he's seen a lot of shots come his way this season. As mentioned, 6th in the league in saves. So you're going to have to wake up, as the saying goes, pretty early in the morning to beat him with a shot like that. There's Lackland. Splices it through 2 members of the ambush. The pass in on the right. A development. Ball gets kicked away. Eske goes to the right, opening up some space. Resting in on it is Lucas Almeida. Almeida is one of the team's leaders as far as assists go. Him, Carvalho, and Eske have been shouldering the offensive load for Jeff Locker's side. Araujo into Drury. Kicked hard off the wall, but recovered by the ambush. Flavio Guzman was trying to clear it. Araujo skirts it through. Manages to find it past Hernandez, but Lackland is there to make the play. We have a whistle on the turf. It's going to be ambush ball. The minute 20 remaining here in the first quarter. Araujo over to the left. Attempt in. Off the wall, recovered. Ball is loose right around the midfield. Less than a minute remaining here in the first quarter. Momentum favoring the ambush. So that ball goes back. That gives me an opportunity to pay some bills real quick. MASLsoccer.com is your home for everything Major Arena Soccer League. All the latest news, leaderboards, highlights, and more. Green Drop offers a better alternative than the outdated compression sleeves and socks, truly providing long-lasting relief at an affordable price. Green Drop's recovery products are uniquely suited to help our athletes battle aching joints and muscles. Learn more or try it yourself by visiting greendropcompression.com. 22 seconds remaining in the quarter. Around that 10 mark, and speaking of take 10, that's all the time you'll need for Eric Bergrud as he takes you inside the game to get to know some of the big stars advancing the sport on and off the field. 10 for 10 airs weekly on MASL TV. 5 seconds. And that'll do it for all the action in the first quarter. The Drama Llama is out in full effect tonight, folks, in Allen, Texas, as the St. Louis ambush, powered by 2 goals from William Eske, head into the break up on the Sidekicks by a score of 2-0. Take a break. For those at the watch party, head on over to the bar. Don't forget to tip your bartenders, and we'll be back for the start of the second quarter momentarily.
Mealtimes are having a moment. A flavorful moment. A moment that's full of golden fried happiness and totally crave-worthy. One that has citrus grilled deliciousness, puts a twist on the classics, and packed with so much flavor that there's something for everyone. A moment you can only discover with the one-of-a-kind chicken and sides of Pollo Campero, crafted to taste like home.
Every business is different, but B1 Bank knows that every business owner has similar needs. From streamlining accounts receivables to maintaining access to working capital, a trusted bank is your best asset for staying on top of day-to-day finances and planning for future business growth. At B1 Bank, I know I have access to commercial banking experts who care about the needs of my business and can guide me to accomplish my goals. B1 Bank knows that managing your business isn't simple, but they can help you make it uncomplicated.
Since 1986, Soccer Spectrum has been serving the Dallas community with competitive soccer, great food, laughs, and a home away from home. Here at Soccer Spectrum, we offer the full soccer experience. We host and organize adult indoor and outdoor soccer leagues, youth leagues, watch parties, soccer camps, and birthday parties. Our facility has everything you need to enjoy our beautiful game and create friendships that will last a lifetime. What are you waiting for? Join our community today. Soccer Spectrum, the official practice facility of the Dallas Sidekicks.
Hailstorms can cause devastating damage to your home. But what if you could protect it with the best? Introducing Total Storm Solutions, installers of the hail-proof roofing system. Not only will you shield your home from costly future damage, but you'll also increase its value and save on your insurance premiums. Total Storm Solutions is proud to sponsor your Dallas Sidekicks and offer free shingle upgrades when you mention this ad. Protect your home today. Visit TotalStormSolutions.com to learn more.
Playoff tickets are now available. Join 8 of your teams in sunny San Diego as they square off in the MASL Ron Newman Cup playoffs April 4th through the 6th. Visit frontwavearena.com to reserve your seats today. Catch MASL Monday every Monday night on MASL TV and on CBS Sports Golazo Network. The homies, Alex Bashchavansky and Phil Levanko, are joined each week by special guests from across the league to recap the weekend's game and discuss the league's hot topics. Welcome to the 20-goal club, William Eskay. His 2 goals in the first quarter put him to 20 on the regular season, upping his point total to 26 as he and the St. Louis Ambush currently up on the Dallas Sidekicks here in Allen, Texas. St. Louis came out really aggressive in that first quarter and seemed to have the momentum in their way. Another shot by Eskay, saved by Lackland, but we do have a whistle on the turf. William Eskay. He's seen some things in his time in the Major Arena Soccer League. What he hasn't really seen is postseason. And he's taken the offensive load today, putting 2 goals in. It's in his 5th year in the MASL, in the 5th year with the Ambush, 7th in the MASL. Ball is played into the corner, not to mention he's part of the All-MASL rookie team during his rookie campaign. So, ball in to the corner. About 40 or so seconds in to the start of the second. Eskay. Over to the right. Shot just ding-dong ring-a-lings off the post. Close call for Carvalho as he's looking to insert his name into tonight's game. Taken away by the Sidekicks. Balliet goes to the left. The pass comes in off the wall. Nobody there as Moises Hernandez tried to Wallace score it to one of his teammates. Nobody pressed forward for the Sidekicks. Ball comes back to Romero. Romero is looking for D'Souza. D'Souza marked aggressively by Eskay. Carvalho off the wall. And some fancy maneuvering by Almeida. Valadez in the midfield. Sidekicks going backwards, just trying to open things up. As the ball gets cycled through the defenders and up to their offensive third. Ball gets laid off to Valadez. Into the corner. He turned his head around for a second shot. Saved. Oh, so close. What's going on there? And it looks like it is a goal. Close call. D'Souza, though, muscles it right through, threading the netting. And just like it happens in indoor soccer, time and time again, the wave of momentum, the tide shifting. D'Souza cutting into this lead is now 2-1. See if you could take a look at that opportunity again. Paulo had his paws all over it. There we see Valadez. He misses it, and some miscommunication as Valadez overthrew. And there was an opportunity by Guzman, but D'Souza powers it past Paulo, and it is now 2-1. Sidekicks, even though they are mathematically out, this isn't a team that's just going to sit there and allow St. Louis to attack. 5th goal of the season for Felipe D'Souza, as the score now stands at 2-1. You can already see the extra pep in the step of the Sidekicks players as that ball gets headed up and over the boards by Rodriguez. Goalkeeper restart for Nascimento. Puts it into play, connects with NDI. NDI going to take his time advancing the ball. Chicunte running back. Recovered by Esque. Esque in a tug of war on the boards. So that ball goes to Rodriguez. Taken away by Riley Yuri as he connects with NDI. Back over to Esque. Esque with Silva on him. Over to Chicunte. Chicunte's going to draw the foul on Moises Hernandez. Axel Chicunte recently signed an extended contract. Sent him a message saying congratulations. Absolutely deserves it. He's been hustling oh so hard. Restart here for the ambush, as they have several options to choose from. Esque so far with the hot hand. Keep your eyes on Thomas over to the left. And Carvalho. It's a three-headed monster of goal scores. Shot by Thomas. Rattles just above the Dr. Pepper. Esque Hernandez gets in the way. And I'm not sure if it's still there, but I do recall many years ago visiting universities, stepping right around where Baylor is in Waco, Texas. I do distinctly remember visiting the Dr. Pepper Museum. One of my favorite beverages, and I'm not really a soda guy. I have to credit Panda for opening that part of my mind up again. But nothing like a fountain Dr. Pepper. Thomas over to the right. Shot off the wall. Nestor Hernandez battling with Araujo. He goes down, comes back up quickly over to Esque. St. Louis still dominating in terms of possession and time on the ball. Esque in Araujo. The back heel to Esque, who has space. Sliding aggressively. Araujo tries to skirt it through. Headed out. I believe that was Gonzalo Santamartinez, if that was the number 25. And again, folks, forgive me. I'm not in Allen, Texas. I'm in Burbank, California. So I didn't quite get the bird's eye view on the play. Either way, it was a tremendous display of defensive capabilities. That one gets headed, and we do have a whistle on the turf. And it looks like the foul's going to be on Jeff Machad. Machad out of West Palm Beach, Florida. Not a bad place to be from. I know many of my kind, meaning New Yorkers, love to retire down in the Sunshine State, or as we call it within the 5 boroughs, the 6th borough. Hernandez with Chicunte in front of him goes to Lackland. Parker back over to Nestor. Superman looking to go consecutive games with goals. Shot! Oh, that one ding-dongs itself. Bolliot with the pulverizer. Has the velocity, just not the trajectory and not the aim. Take it away. And it gets poked away from Soccer Dave. Making the defensive play is Hundelt. Almeida. Up shot off the back of Brendan Lee. And even from this perspective, that couldn't have felt proper. Over to the left. Skirted through. Oh, and that looks like it's a goal. An own goal. Unfortunately, Nestor Hernandez punches that through. The pass came from Mo Ndiaye. Nestor Hernandez did stick his foot out. Let's take a look at that again. Ndiaye tried to skirt it through. But there you see Hernandez poking his foot through, and it just caught the wrong end of his boot. And the score is now 3-1. Credit Ndiaye for creating that opportunity. He and Nestor were teammates at one point. But just unfortunately for Dallas, not on tonight's occasion. 3-1 the score now. St. Louis. 2-goal lead. It was 2 unanswered goals before the D'Souza goal. Taken back, shot. And that comes off of St. Louis. Yuri gets it poked through. Shot just left and wide. Or to the right if you're Lackland. Over to Drewy. Zachary Drewy out of Illinois. See him sporting that bleached hair. Over to Araujo. Look at the fancy footwork from Guzman. Found himself in a heap of trouble, though, for a second as he connects with Rivas. Rivas back over to Lackland. And the ambush defense is just stifling and frustrating the Sidekicks. Rodriguez really nowhere to go. Has to go backwards. And nearly taken away again as that ball comes out, up and out of play. So with 8 minutes and 1 second here in the second half, again, the wave is shifted in the direction of St. Louis. Dallas quickly picked it up here within the second quarter. But just another answer off of an own goal. And that has us in this position that we're currently in. For those of you joining us tonight, certainly thank you for taking the time to hang out with us on this Tuesday night tussle, as I like to call it. A man of alliterations. I've got to come up with as many fun things as I can since I'm the only one calling this game tonight. Me, myself, and I, my 3 best friends. Araujo's going to be fouled. Much to the dismay of Silva. Felipe Silva, he along with Nestor Hernandez, is in the top 10 in blocked opponent shots in the Major Arena Soccer League. Statistically, between Jamie Lovegrove and Felipe Silva and Nestor Hernandez, we've had a couple of Dallas Sidekicks players that have really made their mark onto the season. Same can be said about goalkeeper Parker Lackland. Haven't seen Jamie the Gent on the turf today. Lovegrove, a huge offensive weapon for the Dallas Sidekicks throughout the course of his tenure. As we see Tristan Austin out of Wheat Ridge, Colorado, set to put the ball in play on the restart. He connects with Eske. Eske trying to battle through. St. Louis still has it, recovered by the Kicks. Kicks going backwards. Eske pressuring the ball, connects as it goes to Lackland. Lackland's going to dump it through. Nascimento heads it away. Austin into Araujo. Araujo out of Bound Brook, New Jersey. Pass comes into Thomas. Thomas into Chicunte. Thomas out of Doncaster, England, home of the Doncaster Rovers. And I can't say that I know too many people personally that own Doncaster Rovers kits, but I do have one myself in that closet right behind me. Ball comes in, intercepted by the Kicks. Pass into Rodriguez. Rodriguez off and running on the counter. Hundelt sticking all over him. There's a shot, and that deflects and bounces off. Recovered by Rodriguez. Lackland with pressure, almost stolen away, and Lackland would have been well out of position to make a save. Recovered. What a defensive play by the ambush. They have numbers. NDI skirts it to Carvalho. Goal, St. Louis. The poise, the calmness. NDI over to Carvalho, and now that extends the lead to 3. Now 4-1. Unselfish play. Credit NDI. Hernandez tried to advance in front of the ball, but nobody in front of Carvalho as Deduca dumps it past Lackland. And that's going to send us into immediate timeout, folks. 6 minutes and 3 seconds. St. Louis are up 4-1 on Dallas. You are watching the MASL on MASL TV. Back in a moment.
Indoor soccer fans, it's time to unleash a giant leap for fandom. Introducing MASL Indoor Soccer Fantasy Football. Build your dream team, invite your friends, and create your own draft league, all for free. Draft and trade players and win bragging rights as your team dominates the league. With MASLI Football, you're not just a fan, you're part of the action. Go to MASLI Football to sign up, get started, and play. The wait is over. The 2025 MASL season is here. Bigger.
Mo NDI registers his 11th assist, and Deduca Carvalho registers his 16th goal as St. Louis puts number 4, I should say, on the scoreboard here with 6 minutes and 3 seconds remaining in the half. Bolliot puts the ball into play. And the Sidekicks still looking for some answers. St. Louis just with a resurgence here in the later part of this season. Thomas looking to potentially contribute as well. Still has it poked away. Recovered by Bolliot. Goes into the right, trying to find Hernandez. Hernandez needed some maneuvering to find space. He just had nowhere to go as he hit it off the wall, and it rolls right to Nascimento. I credit my colleague Joey Zanaboni and his comment about Paulo being the Brazilian Rob Lowe. Certainly get a kick out of that. Shout out to the St. Louis Ambush broadcasting crew. Some of the most entertaining figures in the Major Arena Soccer League. Shout out to that fan that puts the ball back in play. Would be a fun thing for fans to be able to take balls away, but I'm sure the league would have to spend a lot more money and give it to Miter if they were going to start allowing fans to take away some souvenirs. 5:13 remaining. And that one quickly comes off and out as Felipe Silva's touch is just too aggressive. Drew, he puts it into play really quickly. Over to Hundelt. Hundelt into Eske. Eske with 2 goals. Carvalho with 1. Nestor Hernandez, the own goal. But started by Mo Ndiaye. Eske gets stripped. Nestor making the play. And quickly on the counter from Tricunte into Austin. Tristan's going to go backwards to Druhi. A little bit about number 77. Second season with the ambush. And he's been a fine addition to Jeff Locker's squad. Almeida advancing it through into NDI. NDI kick saved by Lackland. Lackland's been tested time and time again. You can see why he's one of the league leaders as far as saves are concerned. But he is on it. A lesser keeper would not have made that save. Nascimento advances it in through to the midfield to Thomas. The man from Doncaster shoots, fires it off the skinny popcorn sign. It's the second time I've referenced it. Clearly, I'm hungry. I haven't had the dinner yet, as it is only 10 to 6 in the West Coast. Thomas, up top. Shot. Skirted through. What a pass. Almeida tried to be unselfish, finding Thomas into that far post. But Parker, not to be denied. Valadez connects with Rodriguez. Rodriguez pokes it back to Bradley. That's a tongue twister shot, and well outside of the field of play. It's going to be a goalkeeper restart for the ambush. For those that are new to this sport, first and foremost, welcome. Hope you stick around. 4-1 is not that big of a lead. In fact, we've seen several games throughout the entirety of this MASL season where teams have overcome this deficit and managed to find a win. Now, I'm not obviously trying to jinx the ambush fans, just trying to keep the new fans around, knowing that 4-1, as compared to the outdoor game, still very much a possibility for the Sidekicks to get back in this game as Riley Urey draws the foul on Bradley Valadez. It's the first foul on Valadez out of Mesquite, Texas, in his 5th year in the MASL. He started as a forward before moving to a defender and one of several players of the Kicks to start in the FC Dallas Academy. Araujo bams it off the wall to Hundelt. Hundelt, a veteran of this league, 9th in the MASL. Picked up as a free agent. Last 2 years were spent with Utica City. But happy for him to be back home in St. Louis. Had 3 years with the ambush from 2015 to 2018. Collegiately at the University of Mississippi. And if my research is correct, I think he majored in mathematics, which is utterly impressive. For those of you that have been following the sport for a long time, you no doubt know that he's son of former Steamers, Storm, and Ambush's Kevin Hundelt. Shout out to the Hundelt family. As the cliche goes, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. And clearly that Hundelt bark is quite strong. 2:05 remaining here in the second quarter. If you're just joining us, the St. Louis Ambush have led throughout the entirety of this game. And D'Souza putting several players on skates, but falling right on it is Druhi. And that's going to be a drop ball for Felipe. Felipe D'Souza was born in Brazil. Had the opportunity to call his games back during that 2021 season. It's his 3rd year with the Kicks. Did play pro futsal. And he was a 2021 second-team All-MASL player. And Nestor Hernandez is going to quickly call for a timeout with 1:52. See what Terry Woodbury, Kevin Leonard, and Bosco Katic draw up on that clipboard. The X's and O's, and they need to find some of those X's to create those O's, because right now the only thing they've got is woes, as they're down by 3 here with 1:52 remaining before the half. Hoping that watch party is going solid over at the Post Sports Bar and Grill in Lake St. Louis, Missouri. I believe there's about 30 or so people in attendance there, and you got to love that. Nothing says Fun and love, quite like going out on a Tuesday night. Amazing. So far in today's ball game, the Dallas Sidekicks have really been on their back heels as St. Louis has just controlled possession. They've been the aggressor. And if you look at the statistics thus far, been very good at conversions. 14 shots have led to 4 goals. The Sidekicks have picked it up here in the second quarter with 6, and they've gotten a goal as a result of it. Felipe de Souza did power one through. But as he created an answer, St. Louis found another explanation and punched another one in. And 4-1, hardly a competitive lead, but one that you got to feel pretty good about. Didn't mention much about the St. Louis coaching staff. They are coached by Jeff Locker, Donnie Alberti, Jamie Swanner, and of course, can't forget the legend himself, Corey Adamson. Finally got to hang out a little bit with Corey and Shelly over at the MASL draft. That was a lot of fun. Shout out to the both of them. Nothing but love from yours truly here in Southern California. So Moises Hernandez, possibly on the restart. Maybe Felipe de Souza. De Souza with a shot. And that runs into an ambush brick wall. The Let's Go Sidekicks chants are up-headed. And that was scary, but Nascimento says, no, no, no. Axel Chacunte over into Christian Briggs. Briggs out of Trinidad and Tobago. There he is on the ball. Connects with Chacunte. Briggs signed in 2021. 5th year with the ambush. 5th year with the ambush. Played college at St. Louis before going over to Loyola Chicago. Hundelt. And as you hear it by the public address announcer, less than a minute remaining here in this second quarter. Can St. Louis score one more? Or will Dallas deliver an answer? Almeida. Off the wall into Araujo. He had Austin cutting through and into the box. Almeida to Araujo. Take it away. Rodriguez. And just didn't get enough towards it. And you got to credit the defense by Almeida as he denies Rodriguez on that counter, on that run. 15 seconds remaining here in the half. Ball comes into NDI. Over to the midfield. Araujo. Back over to NDI. Nascimento, possibly with the final attempt. Ball bounces, and Lackland does get his feet on it before it threads through, and that's going to be the end of the first half, folks. The score in Allen, Texas currently stands at St. Louis 4, the Dallas Sidekicks 1. Get the latest news on the MASL and your favorite teams by following MASL Soccer on Facebook and Instagram and MASL Arena on Twitter. MASL TV, make sure you subscribe to it on YouTube. You'll find game rebroadcasts, MASL shows, highlights, and more. All right, folks, time to step away for a second, take a break, head on over to that bar if you're at the watch party. Grab yourself something fun. Say it's on Philly, but I think Shelly will take care of it for you. And I'll obviously return the favor at postseason if we see each other. But the way things are going, it's looking pretty good for St. Louis. So we're going to step aside for halftime, take a break, and when we come back, one more half of indoor soccer to go. Folks, don't you dare go anywhere. You are watching the Major Arena Soccer League on MASL TV.
Every business is different, but B1 Bank knows that every business owner has similar needs. From streamlining accounts receivables to maintaining access to working capital, a trusted bank is your best asset for staying on top of day-to-day finances and planning for future business growth. At B1 Bank, I know I have access to commercial banking experts who care about the needs of my business and can guide me to accomplish my goals. B1 Bank knows that managing your business isn't simple, but they can help you make it uncomplicated.
Wait, 6 miles, wrong with 6 right, we don't.
Since 1986, Soccer Spectrum has been serving the Dallas community with competitive soccer, great food, laughs, and a home away from home. Here at Soccer Spectrum, we offer the full soccer experience. We host and organize adult indoor and outdoor soccer leagues, youth leagues, watch parties, soccer camps, and birthday parties. Our facility has everything you need to enjoy our beautiful game and create friendships that will last a lifetime. What are you waiting for? Join our community today. Soccer Spectrum, the official practice facility of the Dallas Sidekicks.
A steady player. He's one of 3 players who have played every game for the Comets. Guerrero Pino is the one, and oh, there's a header! Oh my gosh, it's Mijatovic! Mijatovic from his defender position heads it over Willie B, and the Comets strike first. Mijatovic opens his account, and the Comets lead 1-0.
Rivera to Pereira. I like that ball. That's great hold-up play by Iro. Fantastic job holding that up. Defensive box plays it off the lawn.
Leon Bennett in the game. Deshaun, his nickname, out of Corinth, Texas, second year with the Sidekicks on the turf. Nestor with the nutmeg shot. What a gorgeous goal. Superman is back in the building. Pulls the nutmeg. Goes upper left corner. Take a bow. Nestor Hernandez.
Así es. Rechazaron ese balón. Finalmente le dan el córner al equipo salvaje.
Aquí la pelota para Roberto. Trying to counter. They get it up to Andreos. Andreos looking far post, gets it over to Ray Holloman, poked it in the middle. Ball is loose.
What a save,
and
Willie B.
Save, Willie B.
Gerson can't control. Picked up again. Now Gerson does have it. He wants a long distance shot. He has the hat trick. Gordy Gerson, what a way to cap off the night. His third goal puts Utica up 9-5. And a beautiful strike from distance.
Relentless pressure from the Stars early with that win. The ambush with 21 points move into that 8th playoff spot. But the Stars, Romero plays it off the boards to himself. First goal in a Stars uniform for former sidekick Yahir Romero.
Chipped into the midfield. Nice play there. That's a great ball for SK. Great pass for SK. He's in. He scores. He beats Rodriguez with just 46 seconds left in the quarter. And St. Louis comes back to tie it at 2.
Left side for Alvarez. Correction, Sanchez. Sanchez tees one up, and Shazam! Alex Sanchez buries that one from downtown, and the Wave take a 3-1 lead. Look at this, Eric.
Just one step, cut inside and went top shelf.
Mealtimes are having a moment. A flavorful moment. A moment that's full of golden fried happiness and totally crave-worthy. One that has citrus grilled deliciousness, puts a twist on the classics, and packed with so much flavor that there's something for everyone. A moment you can only discover with the one-of-a-kind chicken and sides of Pollo Campero, crafted to taste like home.
The wait is over. The 2025 MASL season is here. Bigger and better than ever. Get ready for high-speed action, jaw-dropping goals, and fierce competition as your favorite teams battle it out on the field. With intense rivalries, unforgettable moments, and new stars rising, the MASL delivers excitement every week. Get your tickets now and be part of the excitement, because this season, the action is non-stop.
When hail damages your car, you need a repair company you can trust. That's where Total Hail Solutions comes in. As North Texas's top auto hail repair company, we're committed to bringing your vehicle back to its best, fast, and hassle-free. And now, as the official dent company of the Dallas Sidekicks, we're offering $500 cash back on all repairs for Sidekicks fans. Simply bring in your ticket and let us take care of the rest. Total Hail Solutions, trusted, reliable, and ready to help you drive confidently again.
Shoot! He scores!
What's going on, everybody? This is the MASL in 5. It's your chance to get caught up on everything that went down in the MASL over the past week in just 5 minutes. Let's go.
Chip it down, shot, goal. Great job. It's another assist for Nascimento. And Arroyo scores to make it 3-2.
The race for the 8th and final playoff spot is heating up. It was a must-win for St. Louis last weekend against Baltimore, and the ambush got the job done. They handed the Blast their first defeat at home all season long, winning the contest 7-6, and it was just a reflection of their strong play recently. St. Louis has won 4 of its last 5 games. They've got to keep that hot play going if they want to overtake Tacoma for the 8th spot and keep on dancing. You know who else had a big smile on their face last weekend? The Outlaws. Once again, they managed to knock off their rivals in the Dallas Derby, beating the Sidekicks 6-5 and killing their hopes of making the playoffs once and for all. Texas started slowly this season, but have finished well and are loving playing the role of spoiler. This was the marquee matchup of the weekend. First place Chihuahua against second place San Diego, but it proved to be no contest at all as the Savage pummeled them 12-2. To be fair, San Diego was missing several key players, but Corner Sport Arena continues to be a riddle the opposition just cannot solve. Kansas City managed to get back on track last weekend against the Milwaukee Wave. The Comets were on a 3-game losing streak, but they put an end to that, taking down the Wave 9-6 at Cable Dahmer Arena. The Comets solidly in 3rd place now, but Milwaukee just hasn't been playing its best recently. They are sliding at the wrong time. With the playoffs approaching, they've lost 5 of their last 7 games, falling to 7th in the standings. Let's take a look at the league table then. Chihuahua in 1st, followed closely behind by San Diego. KC in 3rd spot. We really want to focus, though, on that 8th and 9th battle there. Tacoma, St. Louis, the ambush 2 points behind the Stars, but they do have a game in hand. They control their own destiny. So let's take a look at a couple of massive matchups this weekend with playoff ramifications. St. Louis in Texas on Saturday. The ambush cannot afford to stumble, and Texas, as mentioned, is loving playing the role of spoiler. It'll be fascinating to watch. Tacoma will play a home-and-home with Kansas City. Friday in Washington, then Sunday back at Cable Dahmer. The Stars have won 4 of their last 6, but if they're going to make the playoffs, it'll be the hard way. 2 against KC, 1 game versus San Diego to round out their schedule. Your Green Drop Players of the Week, Diego Reynoso in goal for Chihuahua, then 2 Tacoma Stars, defensively Tyler John, and on offense, Yahir Romero. Let's start things off with Romero. Fantastic week for the Stars, who, as mentioned, cannot afford to stumble. They did not, behind his 6 points, 3 goals, and 3 assists to lead Tacoma, and his mate defensively gets the nod, Tyler John. He had 1 block, but also came through with 5 points for the Stars, and in goal, it was Reynoso getting the nod. He had 14 saves while allowing just 2 goals against San Diego. Okay, it is time now for your plays of the week.
Guerrero Pino is the one, and oh, there's a header! Oh my gosh, it's Mijatovic! Mijatovic from his defender position heads it.
On the turf, Nestor with the nutmeg shot. What a gorgeous goal! Superman is back in the building. Pulls the nutmeg, goes upper left corner.
Finalmente le dan el córner al equipo salvaje.
Aquí la pelota para Roberto. They get it up to Andreos. Andreos looking far post, gets it over to W.A. Holloman, poked it in the middle. Ball is loose.
What a save,
and
Willie B.
Save, Willie B.
Points move into that 8th playoff spot, but the Stars. Romero plays it off the boards to himself.
Left side for Alvarez, correction Sanchez. Sanchez tees one up, and Shazam! Alex Sanchez.
Takes up again, now Gerson does have it. He wants a long distance shot. He has the hat trick. Gordy Gerson, what a way to cap off the night. His 3rd goal.
Yeah, and just a reminder, of course, that to stay up to date with everything that's going on with the league, including great feature stories, the latest news, statistics, you can head to the MASL's official social media outlets. Thanks so much for watching. See you next week.
Every business is different, but B1 Bank knows that every business owner has similar needs. From streamlining accounts receivables to maintaining access to working capital, a trusted bank is your best asset for staying on top of day-to-day finances and planning for future business growth. At B1 Bank, I know I have access to commercial banking experts who care about the needs of my business and can guide me to accomplish my goals. B1 Bank knows that managing your business isn't simple, but they can help you make it uncomplicated.
With 6 miles, runway 26 right, right on.
Welcome back, folks. We're less than a minute before the start of the 3rd quarter. The ambush come out of the locker room against the Dallas Sidekicks, up by 3. Let's take a look at those halftime stats. It's been all ambush thus far within the first 2 quarters with 15 shots on goal. 4 of those have been punched through the back of the net. 7 fouls on their end. On the other side of the turf, the Dallas Sidekicks have 1 goal by way of Felipe de Souza, 7 shots on goal along with 5 fouls. Parker Lackland, the busier of the keepers between him and Paulo Nascimento. Just as a reminder, the implications, what this game means for St. Louis. Currently with 21 games played, if this result holds, the Ambush are going to register their 10th win and their 30th point, which will put them just 2 points away from Tacoma and 4 points from the Empire Strikers, with still 2 games to be played. In addition to that, climbing up the ladder, this will be the first time in franchise history where the Ambush will be on a 4-game winning streak. And if you don't believe me, you can consult the notes. And speaking of the notes, I got to give a big shout out to Jim Fossil, and I got to give a big shout out to Shelley Clark of the St. Louis Ambush. Appreciate the notes. Big shout out to Robert Mullins, the scorekeeper of the Dallas Sidekicks. And just because I can, John Lyerla and his wife, Susan Davis, thank you so much for reaching out, and everybody who's reached out, from Jeanette Roush Ball to Doug Ball, everybody out there tuning into this broadcast. Shout out to Jules over at Milwaukee. Anybody who's reached out to me, just want to say thank you. And yeah, it's your ears aren't deceiving you. I'm calling the game, and I am humbled and really appreciative to both the Dallas Sidekicks and the St. Louis Ambush for giving me the honor and the responsibility to call this game. Hopefully I'm doing y'all some justice. So here we are, 40 seconds into the start of the third quarter. Let's see how Dallas comes out, needing to overcome a 3-goal deficit against the red-hot St. Louis Ambush. Balia trying to fight his way through William Eske. And that just takes a lucky ricochet with some space open for Dallas as the pass comes in to Moises Hernandez in the midfield. Hernandez is going to go to Nestor Hernandez. So from here on out, so we don't have any confusion, it'll just be Moises and Nestor from here on out. Nestor's going to settle in on it. Over to Brendan Lee. Valadez back over to Nestor. Araujo throwing some pressure up front. Sidekicks impressively skirted through and into their offensive third of the turf before comes back over to Valadez. Sidekicks stringing together a consecutive series of passes before the pass gets intercepted by Thomas. Look at the movement. Thomas up top. And that was a close call as Druhi was in the middle of the play. There he is again, getting himself involved. Pass on the counter. Opportunity shot and saved. And what we're seeing here is a goalkeeper change. Parker Lackland is subbed out. In comes the legend himself, Juan Gamboa. So we have an up-and-comer in the league in Lackland, and obviously a legend in Gamboa. As that attempt off Guzman gets taken away. Araujo got hung up on the ball for a second and gets stripped by Rafael Rodriguez out of Dallas, Texas. Pass comes into Guzman. Guzman back over to Silva. Felipe Silva out of Brazil. And that one missed. The pass came into Guzman. He mistimed that one-timer. Romero facing all kinds of pressure from Druhi. Taken away. Look at the defense. St. Louis coming up big, recovering possession. Riley Uri, who, as we mentioned, came over from the Harrisburg Heat. There he is on the ball. Connecting with Hundelt. Chacunte, the bounce, off the chest, shot! And just a little too aggressive from William Eske as he was looking for the sombrero. He is 1 goal away from a hat trick. He's been involved very much offensively, and Mo Ndiaye gets assist credit to Carvalho. And from what I saw on the score sheet, does get the credit for the goal, even though it was Nestor Hernandez that poked it through. So he, too, has been a big part of the Ambush's attack. Only Felipe de Souza has registered a goal for the Dallas Sidekicks tonight. Gamboa advancing it, dumping it into the right. Tried to connect with number 92, Joaquin Rivas. And that pass had a little too much tapatio on it. A little too spicy, as the ambush recover it quickly. Gamboa, Juancito out of Brownsville, Texas, in his 9th year with the Kicks, 11th in the MASL, product of the University of Texas, Brownsville. When he's not playing soccer, he's coaching it and cross country and teaching Spanish at Anna High School. Nothing but love to educators and the molders of young minds. I know if I would have had a teacher that coached cross country and soccer, chances are I would have not only had them as a teacher, but I would have had them as a coach too. And all the time, dedication, more importantly, the love displayed speaks volumes as to what an incredible character Juan Gamboa is. And his character is going to need to find its way into this game, trying to keep the ambush from finding the back of the net again, threading through that netting on 4 occasions in the first half. Poked through and away. Shot. That's going to come right off of Nestor. Nestor's going to get credited with another block. The blocked opponent shots keep on amassing as he denies Almeida's opportunity. There we take a look at Gamboa. Now he's auctioning off some goalkeeper gloves. Back shot, fire, and another goal for the St. Louis ambush. Who else? Deduca with the deuce on the day, getting himself a brace, and the ambush now climb up the score 5-1. Let's take a look at that Deduca bazooka as he punches it through the back of the net. Off the restart with the left foot, not to be denied. Ambush go up by 4. What a result. Opening things up. What a quick message. Not sure what the message was from Jeff Locker in the room, but St. Louis still operating and firing on all cylinders. D'Souza trying to get by his defender, and he goes down. Looks like it's going to be a foul on Mashad. Yep, Mashad gets called for his second foul of the night. And Dallas with a fair opportunity here to get a look. As far as the first half goes, the lion's share of shots fell to the ambush. Fires! Saved by Nascimento. Paulo puts his paws all over it. And he has not been tested very often in today's ball game. But anytime he has been, he's been sharp. Paulo, who a couple seasons ago overcame a rough season-ending knee injury. It's good to see him back up and in good form. A very well-respected and loved figure in the St. Louis area. And shout-outs to all our players, whether they're in St. Louis and whether they're in Dallas, providing us action here on a Tuesday night. NDI goes down. And I can't quite tell just based on that angle, but 2 players are down on the turf. It's NDI. It looks like that's Brendan Lee. Yes, it is. Lee quick to get up. NDI is still down on the turf. And the officials are calling for the trainers. The last thing we want to have is any player on any side get hurt. Let's see if we could take a look at that replay again just to see exactly what transpired. Obviously, nothing malicious behind that. NDI being worked on by the trainer. As he's being tended to. Nascimento is going to go towards him as well. NDI has his footprint into today's game. There we go. Shout out to our production staff. And is it his hamstring that he's holding? His ankle, perhaps? Is it a slippage on the turf? Looks like he was holding his ankle there, but he's back up. See if he could put some weight down on it. And yes, he can. And he's going to get a round of applause from the Sidekicks fans. Beautiful display of sportsmanship. NDI is credited with an assist in today's game to Carvalho, as well as a goal, unless they're going to register that as a known goal. But either way, he did create the opportunity. He's going to head to the Pine Pony for a well-deserved rest. 9 minutes and 4 remaining here within this third quarter. MASLsoccer.com is your home for everything Major Arena Soccer League. All the latest news, leaderboards, highlights, and more. Capelli Sport is the official and exclusive preferred uniform and apparel provider of the Major Arena Soccer League. The all-new MASL fan store will be launching soon, and I sure hope so. I want to pick up some more swag. I've amassed quite a few kits and scarves from every team in the league since I've been calling games, and this is a passion of mine. Much to the dismay of my wife, Panda, because I've got a ton of jerseys and a ton of scarves. Some people like to pick up tiles and coffee mugs. I like to pick up scarves and jerseys everywhere I'm going. Honeymoon in Bali? Sure, Bali United. Let's go pay them a visit, try to catch a game, pick up a jersey and a scarf. As a result of that, I've got a ton of those in my closet. And some behind me on the wall. Yuri passes it backwards over to Carvalho. Carvalho along with Eske, both with 2 goals apiece into the ball game tonight. In, poked away by Nestor. Thomas tried to find Almeida. Briggs over to the left side. 8 minutes remaining. Araujo. There's a deflection that comes right off of Nestor. Nestor was in the right place at the right time. But he has had a bit of a renaissance defensively since leaving the Empire and going down to Dallas. He loves being down there. Him and his friend Jamie Lovegrove, who, fortunately for all of us, is not playing today. Love to see Jamie the Gent, Jamie Lovegrove, one of the outstanding characters, personalities, and goal scorers in this league. He scored some bangers in his time. Halfway through the third. Sliding through is Balliet, but he's going to draw a foul. Balliet made the slide tackle. I think it was Hundelt that he stripped. There we see Soccer Dave, and you can find him on all the socials. Didn't get to meet him during that Game of Legends in Ontario over the summer, where we saw the battle between Ronaldinho and Kaká. That's where I first saw Soccer Dave, or first heard of Soccer Dave. It's great to see him as a part of the league. Yes, a soccer influencer, but a talented player. In high school, he was, and he made it all the way to college, too. More on him in a moment. Shot fired, saved by Gamboa, denying Tristan Austin. The pass poked back. That's going to allow the Sidekicks to reset and reestablish themselves. Only down by 4, but needing to start clawing their way into this game. Taken away by St. Louis. And we see a conversation between NDI and the official. NDI, who did go down moments ago with what appeared to be an ankle scenario. Good to see him back in the game as he connects back with Hundelt. Ball gets advanced through the midfield. Carvalho goes backwards. Now we're starting to see the Sidekicks applying the same kind of pressure that the ambush threw at them within the first half. It's so cliche, but defense does win games in any sport. And the St. Louis ambush were successful within that first half because of the way they were pressuring the ball. But now we're seeing it the other end. Well, actually, we're seeing it on the same end that I was just talking about. Threaded through, opportunity. Carvalho! Throw out your sombreros in St. Louis, ladies and gentlemen. Duduka with the triple. Let's take a look. Well, that's the end result of it, but Carvalho, 3 goals into the ball game. Take a bow. Another goal for the St. Louis ambush, and they're looking quite cozy and comfortable as we are going to take a media timeout here. 5 minutes and 33 seconds remaining in the third quarter. St. Louis ambush starting to run away with this, but stick around. Still more indoor soccer to follow.
Indoor soccer fans, it's time to unleash a giant leap for fandom. Introducing MASL Indoor Soccer Fantasy Football. Build your dream team, invite your friends, and create your own draft league, all for free. Draft and trade players and win bragging rights as your team dominates the league. With MASL iFootball, you're not just a fan, you're part of the action. Go to MASL iFootball to sign up, get started, and play.
Mealtimes are having a moment. A flavorful moment. A moment that's full of golden fried happiness and totally crave-worthy. One that has citrus grilled deliciousness, puts a twist on the classics, and packed with so much flavor that there's something for everyone. A moment you can only discover with the one-of-a-kind chicken and sides of Pollo Campero, crafted to taste like home.
Duduka Carvalho with 3 consecutive goals between the later parts of the second quarter and the third has his ambush team up by a score of 6-1. With those 3 goals, he now has 18 on the season to go along with 30 points. Leading the ambush as far as that's concerned, and a couple goals, though, behind his teammate William Eske, who registered 2 goals to start the game in the first quarter. The ambush coming out aggressively, up 6-1, and they can feel it. 21 shots to the Dallas Sidekicks 9. They have taken Allen, Texas by storm. The Credit Union of Texas Event Center has been silenced all day long by St. Louis. But I'm still going to give the benefit of the doubt. I called a game just this Sunday, folks, where the Empire Strikers were down 6-1 and managed to bring the game into overtime. We know that that can happen in indoor soccer. The question is, do the Dallas Sidekicks believe it? I believe they can. And I know people in St. Louis are going to disagree with me, but let's see if we can get ourselves a ball game. Still a quarter and almost a half of one left to play. Only a Tuesday night, but nothing says fun quite like watching MASL on a Tuesday. In fact, any day that ends in Y is fine by me to watch indoor soccer. As that ball comes out of play, going to be a goalkeeper restart for Nascimento. Quickly rolls that into NDI. There we see the Sidekicks pressure. Easily broken apart by St. Louis. Tough touch from Yuri as Valadez recovers. Gamboa puts it into play across the midfield, trying to connect with Guzman, but he gets it taken away. On the run is the ambush. Ball's free. Almost threaded by Gamboa. Luis Perez out of St. Louis almost etched his name into the game today. Valadez facing pressure. Gets it out of the danger zone. Recovered by St. Louis. Araujo gets his pocket picked as he goes down to the turf. Guzman over to Nestor. Nestor up top. Opportunity here. Guzman with space. Yuri, shot, misses off Dr. Pepper. Not what the doctor ordered if you're Dallas. Close call. And you can't deny the fact that Yuri's positioning affected the trajectory of the shot as Riley goes up over to Chacunte. Chacunte falls on it, grabbed off of the ball. No whistle on the turf. The officials are letting the teams play. We haven't seen any cards today. Guzman over to the right. Shot off Dr. Pepper once again. Dr. Pepper's getting more saves than Paulo Nascimento today. Numbers in favor. Shot just misses. Close call. Rodriguez over to Silva. Dallas gets it across past the midfield, close to the midfield anyway. As we approach the 3-minute mark here in the third quarter, the Ambush with a commanding 5-goal lead with the score being 6-1. And that's going to be a foul that's going to go against Austin. Austin does get called for the infraction on Romero. Austin out of Wheat Ridge, Colorado, signed with the Ambush in 2021, was a state champion in high school at, I believe, Broomfield High. So he's had a little bit of tenure here. State champ in any sport is just utterly impressive. Restart here. Oh, poked away. I think that came off for Briggs. 2:44 remaining in the third. The Sidekicks are going to chip away at this lead. It's going to need to start now. Balliet. That pass gets kicked up and out into the Ambush bench. You see Williamson throwing it onto the turf. Williamson, one of the newest acquisitions for Jeff Locker, to go along with Riley Uri, who we've seen quite a bit here today. It's going to be a top-of-the-arc restart for Romero. We see the Ambush wall. Shot fired off of Araujo. Dallas comes back up with it. Gamboa. That one comes up and off and high. Comes off of the noodle of several players. Shot. Oh, and that one just misses. Recovered by Guzman. Guzman with all kinds of pressure on him. Sticks with it. Nestor to Flavio. Flavio manages to get the ball away as Briggs was closing in on him. Over to Moises. Into the corner. And nobody there as De Souza was trying to bang it off the wall to connect with anybody. And that's been somewhat of the story today for the Dallas Sidekicks. As they've gone on offense, they haven't been able to throw everybody at Paulo. Operating more to absorb the attack rather than go on it. Look at the fine defense by Superman himself, Nestor Hernandez. A veteran and a gentleman. And a personal favorite of mine. I haven't gotten to know him throughout the years. In fact, he was the very first indoor soccer player I ever chatted with when I first got involved in this beautiful sport that we all know and love. One of many of the beautiful aspects. Shot by Araujo. Another attempt kicked away by the Sidekicks. Valadez. That one across into the midfield. What a pass. As Dallas was trying to find Balliet, but denying them is Jeff Mashad. Approaching that 22nd mark here in the third quarter. Paulo under duress. Gamboa boots it up high into Brendan Lee. Lee looking to get by NDI. He's going to put on the brakes. Still with it. 7 seconds. Almeida on the run. The pass to Chacunte. But time expires. And expires is, well, the story for the third quarter. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back after 3 minutes or so, we've got one more quarter left to play here in Allen, Texas. Can the St. Louis Ambush get a historic milestone, 4th straight win today? Or is Dallas going to put it into third gear and find a way back into the game? Stick around to find out. MASL TV is what you are watching.
Every business is different, but B1 Bank knows that every business owner has similar needs. From streamlining accounts receivables to maintaining access to working capital, a trusted bank is your best asset for staying on top of day-to-day finances and planning for future business growth. At B1 Bank, I know I have access to commercial banking experts who care about the needs of my business and can guide me to accomplish my goals. B1 Bank knows that managing your business isn't simple, but they can help you make it uncomplicated.
Hailstorms can cause devastating damage to your home. But what if you could protect it with the best? Introducing Total Storm Solutions, installers of the hail-proof roofing system. Not only will you shield your home from costly future damage, but you'll also increase its value and save on your insurance premiums. Total Storm Solutions is proud to sponsor your Dallas Sidekicks and offer free shingle upgrades when you mention this ad. Protect your home today. Visit TotalStormSolutions.com to learn more.
Disagree with a call tonight? You might just see it on the MASL's most controversial show, Under Review with Phil Levanco and MASL head referee Ryan Sigich. Catch it every Friday on YouTube. Catch MASL Monday every Monday night on MASL TV on YouTube and CBS Sports Golazo Network. Alex Bostjavansky and the man, the myth, the legend again, the homie Phil Levanco, are joined each week by special guests from across the league to recap the weekend's games and discuss the league's hot topics. Get the latest news on the MASL and your favorite teams by following MASL Soccer on Facebook and Instagram and MASL Arena on Twitter. 15 minutes left to decide the victor in today's ball game. I know there are a lot of hungry Ambush fans out there. There's a shot saved by Paolo. Some hungry Ambush fans and some hungry Sidekicks fans that want to see their club finish strong. Mathematically, the Sidekicks are eliminated from the postseason. But St. Louis very much alive. And speaking of which, playoff tickets are now available. Join 8 of our teams in sunny San Diego as they square off in the MASL Ron Newman Cup playoffs, April 4th through the 6th. Shot! Oh, what a save! And it wasn't by a keeper, it was by Briggs. Christian Briggs, the defender. And to finish my thought, visit frontwavearena.com to reserve your seat today. Ambush fans, if your team makes the postseason, we certainly hope to meet many of you down at Front Wave. Can the Sidekicks find a solution? Yuri into Araujo, but Moises is all over him as he threads it through and into Paulo, but not before we hear a whistle. There we see a little chirping back and forth between both teams. Speaking of officials, I didn't recognize our senior referee, Fernando Pena, Kyle Armstrong, Mohamed Kalea. Forgive me if I mispronounced it. Giovanni Martinez, Darian Nurian, and of course, scorekeeper, my good friend, Robert Mullins. So, challenge flag on the turf. If you got them, you might as well use them. Looking to find any kind of momentum is Dallas. As the officials are reviewing the challenge flag that got thrown onto the turf, just quickly want to glance over the stats. The Ambush had 9 shots in the third quarter, whereas the Sidekicks only with 3. If you're counting, St. Louis with 24, Dallas with 10. And that's 6 goals off of those 24 shots. For Dallas, it's 1 goal off of the 10. Your scores to open things up, it was William Esque with 2. Lucas Almeida did register an assist to Esque. That was all in the first quarter. In the second, D'Souza powers 1 through. But moments later, Mohamed Ndiaye puts 1 through, and then Diduka Carvalho scores the first of what would be 2 more afterwards. Off a beautiful assist from Ndiaye, Carvalho would get another goal, courtesy of his teammate Lucas Almeida, who leads the team in assists. And then who else but Diduka again in the 9:25 mark in the third quarter. Those are your goal scorers here in today's ball game. 13:30 remaining in the fourth quarter. If you're just joining us right now, the officials are reviewing a challenge flag. Challenge is denied, and you could see the frustration on the Dallas bench. No foul is the call on the turf. And it's been a rough evening for the legendary Dallas Sidekicks. One more game for them after this. They're hosting an Empire Strikers team that's also hungry to collect a win. Strikers had San Diego in their last 2 games, and that's a tough ask, tough order for any team. And playoff implications on the line. St. Louis, Tacoma, and Empire are the 3 teams that are still involved, but only 2 spots available. For those wondering what the Empire is, it's just a shortened version for Inland Empire, which is a part of the greater Los Angeles area. It's not Los Angeles. It's in part of Southern California, akin to your Orange counties, your Ventura counties, so on and so forth. The Inland Empire, very populous area, I should say. And that's where the term empire came from. Anyway, back to this. Foul on the turf. 13:05 remaining. And on the rules, when a challenge flag is issued but denied, the team that threw the challenge flag no longer has any. If the challenge flag were to be honored, well, then there's still a challenge flag that's kept in motion for regulation. Some of the new changes in the rules. Shot. And that took a bounce as Carvalho was looking for number 4. Oh, here's an opportunity for Dallas. The chip. Just too cheeky and just too much. D'Souza was eyeing the double, and he just had too much pepper on his steak. Nascimento got bailed out as he faced a one-on-one opportunity with a very dangerous goal scorer. Throws us that bullet of an arm. Heck, with an arm like that, might have a shot at playing some minor league baseball as Chacunte's shot goes off the mark. Speaking of which, baseball opening day on Thursday. It's a great time of year. We got indoor soccer playoffs, March Madness, the start of baseball. All kinds of beautiful things going on in the world of sports. But the only sport that matters to me, the only sport that matters to us, is the beautiful game of indoor. As we see a foul down on the turf. And that foul goes against Machad. Nestor puts it into play. Connects with Renato Torquato. We haven't seen Renato much in today's ball game. At least we haven't said his name much. Soccer Dave. Kicks it back towards the midfield. Dallas looking for anything. They've just been snake bitten when it comes to breaking through the St. Louis defense. That's just been dynamite today. Pass in to Balliet. Balliet over to Moises. Moises still with possession. Look at him put his defender on skates, but that one gets taken away off of the wall. And a whistle is blown. You could see that just based on the frustrations of Juan Gamboa. Gamboa, who subbed into the start of the third quarter, replacing starter Parker Lackland. So, another foul. And it's going to be Sidekick's ball with 11:35 remaining in the ball game. Thomas putting it into play over to Druhi. Oh, he almost scored himself a banger. That was nearly the goal of the game. All right, Araujo over to Yuri, but he's going to draw the foul. So Araujo gets fouled by D'Souza. Both players having a quick little word with one another. These are two very competitive teams. And that's going to be another foul. Oh, in the face of Moises is Perez. And Perez is going to be pushed away by Druhi. So we're starting to see some consecutive fouls here late in the ball game. The officials have let the teams play. We haven't seen any team be able to exhibit their power play or their penalty kills. Look at Hundelt. Over to Yuri. Yuri to Araujo. Back over to Yuri. Just mistimed that. Gamboa. And that bounces well past NDI. Paulo's going to come out. And a lucky fan by the Campero sign. Nearly catches one. And we see an Inter Miami jersey. In Dallas, of all places. And get a chance to see Inter Miami as they come into LA to take on LAFC on the 2nd. The header. Off the mark. Recovered by Rivas. Rivas into Guzman. His shot. Well off the mark. And that's going to be a foul against Austin. And as I mentioned, the officials letting both teams play, but barely a minute has gone by, and we've had, 3 or 4 fouls at this point. The game is going to start to get chippy as both teams are going to start to get more aggressive. In particular, Dallas, who are looking to find a way back into the game. Baladez kicked away. Chacunte. Baladez recovers a brilliant backheel pass, but Chacunte is there to get it back to his teammate NDI. NDI to Chacunte. Chacunte, who did play for the Outlaws. No stranger to life in Texas. Another whistle gets blown out onto the turf. As Rodriguez and Thomas get tangled. And that's going to be a foul going against Flavio Guzman. $10-12 remaining here in the fourth quarter. The ambush. If all holds here, boy, are they going to make life stressful for Tacoma and Empire. That's the beauty of this time of year. Other than that, we've got 6 playoff positions clinched. Just a matter of positioning and 2 more teams to find their way in. And the form that St. Louis is in makes them really dangerous down the stretch. Also with 2 more games after today. Esque off the wall. Carvalho back over to Esque. Esque to Thomas. Thomas over into the right to Briggs. And Carvalho, can't say that was a through ball to Thomas as he was just getting up. Almeida eyeing what could potentially be his 3rd assist. Thomas with all the space in the world. He slowed down as Dallas started converging all over him. Threaded through shot, save Gamboa. The reflexes and the instincts on proud display for Juancito. And we finally see our first blue card of the game. And so that's going to put the Sidekicks with the power play as Thomas is going to head over to the bin of sin. And as far as the penalty kill is concerned, St. Louis operating at a 78% efficiency. Oh, and we see a challenge flag get thrown by Jeff Locker. So let's see whether or not that's going to be a blue card. There we see the Dallas Sidekicks cheerleaders. Dallas on the power plays at around 30%. St. Louis with the penalty kill very strong this season, but let's see if that call holds. Again, if you got the challenge flag, why not use it? So as far as reads are concerned, I think I'm pretty much all out of things to say, but make sure you buy your playoff tickets, folks. It's going to be really exciting down at Front Wave. And for those who haven't visited that arena, Front Wave is a brilliant facility. There you see the QR code. Go ahead and scan it. The playoffs are going to be on April 4th through the 6th. You could get the 1-game pass. You could get the 3-game pass at very reasonable prices. And, of course, they do offer hotel packages as well. So reserve your seats today at frontwavearena.com. What I'm looking forward to most out of going to the postseason, not only seeing some incredible indoor soccer, but getting to be reunited with friends from all across the Major Arena Soccer League. And I know there's a lot of you out there that I speak with on social media and have for the last several years. I'd love to put a face by a DM. We operate in our own beautiful little world that we hope expands onto a bigger horizon. And, well, what better way to do that than to all join in Oceanside, California? I would say wherever you try to find a ticket, there's several airports that are around. Of course, you could fly into San Diego. You could fly into LAX. You could fly to John Wayne, which is Long Beach. Heck, you could fly to where I live in Burbank. Wherever the flights are the cheapest, I promise you, if you've never been down here, you rent a car. It's a beautiful ride. And even if you happen to go over to Burbank and catch the flight there, there's a train, the Amtrak, the Pacific Surfliner, that'll take you right to Oceanside. From there, wherever your hotel is, there's several right by the beach, or there's a couple right by the arena. You can make it out there. What a perfect trip to take. And what a milestone it would be. The Ambush get to go in. Tacoma goes in. Obviously, like I call games for Empire. I'd love for that to happen. But nothing is decided yet. Every team in the postseason here controls their fate. And so the challenge flag denied. They are on the power play. And let's see who's going to capitalize. Again, the Dallas Sidekicks, 30% efficiency on the power play. St. Louis Ambush on their penalty kill, nearly at 80%. Looking to spread it through. Oh, open opportunity. Shot saved, Paulo. Ball comes in to Moises. Over to the left. Hundelt forces the issue by the yellow line. Pass comes in to Silva. Silva back over to the left. Getting by Hundelt on that left side. Silva's open shot. He scores! It's a power play goal for the Dallas Sidekicks. Felipe Silva! Take a bow. 6-2. It's a 4-goal game. Let's take a look at that replay again. Wide open, all the time in the world. Silva could have drove from Allen all the way to St. Charles with the amount of time and space that he had. And that should ignite a fire, not only in the crowd, but potentially within the Dallas Sidekicks. As with 8 minutes and 19 seconds remaining in the fourth quarter, still an ascertainable position to be in. 4-goal lead, not a big one. Kicks looking to avoid what could potentially be their 3rd consecutive loss here. St. Louis looking for their 4th consecutive win, which would be a first in franchise history. Gamboa volleys it in. Rodriguez has it. Has Rivas. Shot! And another goal! Valadez chipping into this lead. It's 6-3. Bradley the baller bounces it through. And we've got another goal within moments of one another. Let's take a look at that again. Shot just to the left of Paulo Nascimento. The tide's potentially turning here. A wave of green starting to infiltrate Allen. And we're going to have a timeout on the turf. Folks, I'm going to take a timeout as well. Rest those vocal cords. Not sure if it's last call over where y'all are hanging out at the watch party, but we'll be back in just a moment. You're watching MASL on MASL TV.
With 6 miles, runway 26 right, clear on.
Since 1986, Soccer Spectrum has been serving the Dallas community with competitive soccer, great food, laughs, and a home away from home. Here at Soccer Spectrum, we offer the full soccer experience. We host and organize adult indoor and outdoor soccer leagues, youth leagues, watch parties, soccer camps, and birthday parties. Our facility has everything you need to enjoy our beautiful game and create friendships that will last a lifetime. What are you waiting for? Join our community today. Soccer Spectrum, the official practice facility of the Dallas Sidekicks.
Bradley Baladez brutalizes that miter ball for his 8th goal of the season and cuts into that ambush lead. It is now 6-3. 2 quick goals in succession for the Dallas Sidekicks. Starting to make things interesting. Starting to make people in St. Louis a little nervous. Carvalho tried to get through, but Silva was there, as he has been time and time again, making defensive plays. But as far as today goes, also scoring goals. And Tristan Austin looks like he's going to draw a foul on the Sidekicks. Sidekicks very frustrated. You can see the dismay between Bennett and his teammates. There we're seeing the ambush bench. Still not sweating it out that much. 3 goals, 7-17. We'll see what happens. Almeida, who's got a couple of assists today. Shot right off of D'Souza. Threaded through into that left side. Briggs into Thomas. Thomas rolls it away, but recovered by the Sidekicks. Pass comes in. Shot fired. What a block by Briggs. And there we hear the Charge theme music. Nestor back onto the turf, connecting with Rivas. Joaquin Rivas from El Salvador, but raised in Las Vegas. Spent some time in the USL with Sacramento Republic and Tulsa FC to go along with Miami FC and El Paso Locomotive. Not to mention 30 caps with the El Salvador national team. On the breakaway, shot by Esque, saved! Gamboa, Juancito with the denier. Esque was eyeing goal number 3. Trying to catch up to his teammate, Carvalho, who registered his hat trick in the 3rd quarter. Less than 6 remaining. Lot on the line here for St. Louis. Lot on the line for Dallas as well. Appreciate this competitive fire. Sidekicks still have it. And it looks like that's going to be a foul on Druhi for taking down Bennett. Second foul of the game for Druhi, only the first in the second half. Pass up top to Hernandez. Looks like it's 6th attacker time for the Kicks. And if that's 18, that's Romero. You know, some teams like to throw in the 6th attacker jersey without it indicating the number of the player wearing the 6th attacker. And that 6th attacker jersey is dynamite, if you ask me. Well done on the creative team that put that together. Some incredible jerseys that we see in the Major Arena Soccer League. Shout out the Harrisburg Heat with coming up with some amazing ones. Have a St. Patrick's Day jersey and an ugly Christmas sweater. That's incredible. Shot, post, off the wall. Another shot. Goal! Another goal! Felipe D'Souza with his 2nd of the game. It's 6-4. It's eyebrow pour sweat time for St. Louis. Felipe D'Souza. 6-4. Let's take a look at that scramble. Pass off the wall. The touch. I'd call that a Wallace score if I were you, Brian Colmo. 6-4. And Dallas very much alive here in the 4th quarter. The beauty of indoor soccer, folks, the greatest show on turf. You never know what could transpire. What looked to be a lopsided result for St. Louis all of a sudden now is an incredibly intense ball game. Let's see if that inserts a pep in the step of the Sidekicks. The pass in, Guzman. Nobody there to recover. Down goes Rodriguez. Out comes Paulo. Lays it over to NDI. NDI goes down, recovered by Dallas. And that's going to come out to Silva. Silva had Rodriguez, opts to go over to Nestor. Nestor's going to reset everything. The sixth attacker dagger was in full effect for that fourth goal. Will we see another dagger from the sixth attacker? Shot. Recovered by St. Louis. That's one of those live by the sword, die by the sword moments, but the ball bounces back into play for Dallas. Guzman with Carvalho on him, passes to his left side. He has it again. And that ball somehow bounces right in to the ever-capable hands of Paulo Nascimento. He's going to roll it out to Yuri. Yuri! Almost! Shot! Goal! Araujo! And look at him firing the dagger and flexing the muscles. What an answer to a formidable attack by Dallas. Araujo coming up clutch. 13th goal of the season. There we see Gamboa going to the ground. Rafael rifles it in. And that's going to give a little cushion and a breath of fresh air for St. Louis. At some point, we're really sweating it out as Dallas was mounting a comeback, down by as much as 5, with the score being 6-1. Got it to within 2, but that goal by Araujo now has the ambush up by 3, 7-4 with 3:16 remaining. Valadez in the Nestor. That sixth attacker is still in play. And when there is an open net, threading it through, pass, shot, goal, Bradley Valadez! The quick answer. The sixth attacker dagger strikes again. Valadez with his second of the game, now with 9 on the season. Take a bow, Bradley, but what a pass. There is no goal without that unbelievable pass. 2:53 now, 7-5. I'm sweating. You're sweating. We're all sweating here. Tuesday night tussle in the MASL. It's fantastic. So there's going to be a timeout on the turf. We're going to stick around here. Still so much action, so much drama. St. Louis is struggling as far as the Dallas Sidekicks sixth attacker is concerned. The Sidekicks thrown Romero in with that sixth attacker jersey and have easily found their way back into the game. There we see a very animated Nestor Hernandez rallying his troops. 12 goals over the course of today's game. How could you not love indoor soccer? For those tuning in for the first time, we hope you're entertained. For those who have been a long time around, let's grow this thing. Tell your friends, tell your friends' friends, tell your mom's friends, other brothers, other monk. I'm trying to use a Spaceball reference here. I got a little tongue twisted, but this truly is the greatest show on turf. And it's for reasons like this. No lead is safe. So much action. There are no ties. There's never going to be a 0-0 result. This is a fantastic sport. And we're having a fine Tuesday evening here. Wherever you are tuning into this MASL TV broadcast, it's been fun. Hopefully those that tuned off or tuned out when the score was 6-1 have gotten some kind of update on their devices, letting them know that, hey, we've got a ball game here in Allen. So Valadez's goal cuts into the lead, 7-5 for the ambush. Carvalho set to put the ball in play in the midfield. Lot on the line, a lot riding for this St. Louis ambush team. Carvalho over to Briggs. Briggs' shot. That, to quote the great legendary Bob Uecker, just a bit outside. Rest in peace to the legend. I know a lot of us remember him from his time calling games for decades with the Brewers, but let's not forget about his time as an actor on the show Mr. Belvedere. And yes, I know that's a baseball reference in indoor soccer. But when I'm talking to me, myself, and I'll have these conversations. Sixth attacker back. Recovered. Ball comes into Eske. Eske to NDI. NDI back over. Ball in to Mashad. Mashad off the wall. Clever pass off the wall. Can St. Louis capitalize on the fact that Juan Gamboa is not in between the sticks? It's Romero. And he's going to fall on it. But we hear a whistle on the turf. Dallas is not happy. Foul. And Gamboa is going to come back. Let's take a look at that replay again. There's NDI. Guzman, and then falling on it is the sixth attacker. And no, that it would not be Romero. Actually, I'm not quite sure. But either way, it's going to be a top-of-the-arc restart for St. Louis. It's Almeida on point. 2:14 remaining in the fourth. The score 7-5. Almeida tried to chip it through. But D'Souza, with 2 goals in the game, wasn't fooled. The back pass to Gamboa. Gamboa to Nestor. Nestor having a little trouble with his touch. Passes it in across. Recovered by the ambush. Sliding through, but missing it is Thomas. As the Sidekicks recover. Minute 40 remaining. Gamboa looking to come off. Oh, and there's a missed opportunity for Dallas, but the capitalizer, St. Louis. Goal! And who else? Well, the man who normally registers assists. He's going to register a goal today. Lucas Almeida with the Annihilator. 8-5. And at that point, could that be the proverbial nail in the coffin? Almeida, only his 7th goal of the season, had 2 assists. 3 points in today's game. It's going to put him at 26. Carvalho at 30 points. Him and Almeida very close. And Eske with a couple of goals within his own right. Between those 3 and James Thomas, you got 4 players on the ambush that have registered more than 20 points. All right, gut check time. 93 seconds remaining in this game. St. Louis, can you hold on? Dallas, can you shock the world? Poked away by Eske. Nestor to his left. The one-timer poked away by NDI. NDI's going to flex on that blocked opponent shot. Over to Nestor. Nestor into Baladez. Baladez already riding a brace today with 2 goals. Less than a minute remaining. The goals need to start coming now if you're Dallas. Shot. Look at the block by St. Louis. Ambush. Shot by Nestor. Another deflection. St. Louis, you are on the verge of accomplishing a franchise milestone. Your 4th consecutive victory, never done in St. Louis ambush history. Dallas with another attempt, saved by Paulo. 27 seconds left. He's going to roll it out to Eske. And they're going to now play keep away. Intercepted. The pass into the left. Shot. What a block by NDI. That might even be the block of the game. Paulo's going to have to get him a happy hour beverage with that one. Seconds. Eske, does that count? Will that count? Did he beat the clock? If he does, William Eske with the exclamation point and the hat trick. Either way you slice or dice it, St. Louis, you have your 4th straight victory. Your potential at landing in the playoffs is very much alive. 10th win of the season, 10-11-1, 30 points right now. As both teams are going to look to say, congrats to one another. What a game we have. Yes, that goal counts. William Eske, 3 goals. Duduka Carvalho, 3 goals. Lucas Almeida, 2 assists and a goal. Mo Ndiaye, a dime and a goal. Total team performance by the Ambush. As far as Dallas is concerned, Dallas, you got to credit them. They were down by as much as 6-1 and valiantly fought back into this game. They made it really exciting and really nerve-wracking for St. Louis in those final moments. Bradley Baladez, a couple of goals to his credit. You had Felipe De Souza with a couple of goals. Felipe Silva with one as well. But your final score at the Credit Union of Texas Event Center, the St. Louis Ambush 9, the Dallas Sidekicks 5. Your final stats, the Ambush with 33 shots. Dallas came alive in the 4th quarter. They had 14 shots to the St. Louis's 7, really bridging the gap. And the 6th attacker proved to be very efficient for quite some time, but with the lead that the Ambush had late in the game, it was a big hill to climb for the Dallas Sidekicks, but they certainly made it a game. For the Ambush, their season not over yet. They've got a tough challenge ahead of them as they are going to play and host the Milwaukee Wave on Friday, March the 28th. For their 23rd game of the season. That'll be played at the Family Arena. Then on Sunday, March the 30th, they're going to head over to UW Milwaukee Panther Arena to take on the mighty Milwaukee Wave on the road. So they very much control their destiny. As far as the Dallas Sidekicks are concerned, one more game to go against an Empire Strikers team that desperately seeking a victory to clinch a shot at the playoffs. It's going to be really interesting down to the wire. 2 playoff spots remaining, 3 teams very much alive. And after this result, St. Louis is in the conversation. Once again, congratulations to the Ambush. 4th win in a row. Great run in the postseason. On behalf of myself, Christian Philemon, better known as Philly, and our unbelievable production staff, I just want to thank, again, the St. Louis Ambush and the Dallas Sidekicks for allowing me to be on this call. I'll be back again calling the Dallas Sidekicks and the Empire Strikers for the Sidekicks' final game of the season. And then I hope to see you all in Oceanside for the playoffs. Enjoy the rest of your Tuesday. Have a great night, a productive week. And once again, thank you for tuning in to the MASL on MASL TV. Good night, everybody.